The problem is you've been confusing pressure for purpose. They're not the same thing. Hear me out. You only have but so much attention, right? And a lot of things compete for that attention. In fact, good money is invested in capturing and manipulating your attention. What that means is the oldest tactic and the newest technology want the same thing from you: distraction and control. They want you to focus on their priorities, to be overwhelmed by the stressors pressing in. When you find yourself tugged to and fro in a brain fog that leaves you confused and dizzy, you need to know God didn't do that, because God is clear. That's what the apostle meant when he said, God is not the author of confusion. God is clear. So if you're confused, you've got to ask, if God didn't author my confusion, who did? And how did they get the right to weigh in? This is the power you have to change in your life. God's voice is clear, confusion is noise. So if you're not hearing God, you got to quiet the noise. Noise is bossy. It'll tell you what to do in competing ways so that you're divided and fractured. God leads you to wisdom and wholeness. Your job, your discipline, is to distinguish between the noise that wants to throw you off and the instruction God's been giving all along. Your response is simple. When you feel pressed, pause before you obey it and ask yourself 2 questions. What's pressing on me? And who benefits if I obey? I struggle with this every time I make a to-do list. I write everything down, but then I got to go back to see, does this come from purpose? Or did it just press in the hardest? And when I do, I see at least half of the list is somebody else's urgency in my own handwriting. I tell myself, and I'm telling you, stop it. You can't stop the pressure, but you can stop its instruction right now. Decide to live differently. Say this: I refuse to mistake noise for instruction. Here's what happens when you incorporate the pause as your discipline. You'll find your comfort while everything else is wild around you. Let me read you the psalm. God is our refuge and our strength, our very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though the waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. So when there's chaos around you, stand in the river. Cancel the noise. Follow the peace. Before you read your next inbox, before you scroll, before you even look at your texts, you and God have a conversation about the direction of your day. You get to the river first. So when everything else is roaring and shaking, you keep your peace. You stand in your gladness. What I love is God's already made your peace. The river is always there. All you have to do is step back in. The water is real nice